at the end of the day, it's just weird because they have very different parks that they think are absolutely terrible.
Because Six Flags has a lot of absolutely, for every good park, there's literally 5 awful ones.
I,
Lich Gardens, anybody?
I don't even think that's one of their parks anymore.
I don't think so either, but still, I'm counting it. Fine. How about Six Flags Flood Zone, IME New Orleans?
That doesn't count anymore.
Six Flags Jazzland.
Hey. You know, since I did press the button, we're technically live out there. If any of y'all want, go on to Amazon Prime and look up Bright Sun Films Closed for Storm. Fantastic documentary on Six Flags Jazzland.
Thanks for cluing me in that we're live as I'm being a jerk. For anybody actually who happens to be watching or from that area, I'm making fun. I don't mean to make fun of what happened to the park, obviously. That I'm not making light of, just light of that Jazzland was always a problematic park.
Here's my general thought, and it's going to be an unpopular opinion, but after having watched that documentary, it was closing anyway.
It was. No. There's no. They were struggling. They had all sorts of. It was just struggling regardless of anything. That, it was gonna close. It was a matter of when, not if. They had their issues. Like a lot of parks
Like,
have their issues.
1 year after, like when they officially announced that it was not reopening, they also closed like 2 other parks that same announcement. Yeah, it was always dying in that announcement. Okay, maybe La Ronde would have gotten it, or they're
just for every, well, Astro World was gone now. For every Fiesta Texas Great Adventure Magic Mountain over Georgia, you had Lich Gardens, Darien Lake, Jazzland,
La Ronde.
LaRonde. You know what? I forgot LaRonde was a thing till today, till just this moment. You said that, it was like, whoa, I forgot. LaRonde.
And Great Escape.
Still there, yes. Well, Great Escape we used to go to growing up, and I still can go. It's a park near and dear to my heart, but yes, it's not a great park. But that existed as Great Escape before Six Flags bought it. Yes.
But there were just so many that just were bad. And the funny thing is, because it's very much a Five Guys in and out feud between Great Adventure and Magic Mountain. And the one video I watched, because he ranked Magic Mountain as third, which to me was a little bit unheard of, because Magic Mountain has always been angled as their Cedar Point competitor.
It is. That's okay. Okay, who are the first two then?
2 was Great Adventure. And 1, let me pull up the list of Six Flags parks, because I want to get the name right. Great America.
What?
Great America.
What? Great America?
And as he said, he based them all off of his trips. No, it was Six Flags Great Escape. I was right, yeah.
Great Escape is number 1.
Yeah.
I mean, The thing with Great Escape, it's Lake George area. It's not Lake George, but it's the Lake George area. It's a smaller park, but it's got some nice rides. It's crowded, but not like overly crowded. They have the Comet in the back, which was the Crystal Beach Comet that they moved here. So it's real classic if that's what you like. I've never been to I shouldn't say that. I've never been to Magic Mountain. So I shouldn't say it like this, but I wouldn't put Great Escape or Adventure over Magic Mountain. They have the variety what they have, and
he said what killed it for him was the fact of music started playing. Their ride ops was terrible.
Oh, that I have heard. Staffing, they have all sorts of issues there.
Park maintenance, terrible. Graffiti everywhere.
Well,
yeah. But when he is saying that the graffiti there is worse than Six Flags America,
that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
And I pulled up the video just so I can confirm what he put at the top. Yeah. So the Great Escape and Hurricane Harbor was his number. No, that's the list. Why can't you just give me the ranking? Why do I have to click through the stupid video? That's Great Adventure. Sorry, I'm just terrible.
That's okay. Take your time. No rush. We're discussing Six Flags here, so terrible's the name of the game. What? Who said that? Rude people on our podcast. Sorry.
It is very fair to call it terrible. And, the back of the list was the back of the list. They're crappy Six Flags parks no one wants to go to. No one ever wants to ride there. So, okay.
Is this the second time in this podcast we're going to reference Discovery Kingdom?
Yes, because it was ranked like 5th. It was high.
No. Good for them. You know what? Cheers to that. Good for them, Discovery Kingdom.
And it was solid ride ops. Good. Good ride selection. The best Medusa clone.
Well, I mean,
hey, look, when you're ranking Six Flags parks, you got to compare the clones.
I'm sorry, that's just because you guys are. I'm spoiled with the original.
And I can now confirm 100% the number one thing in his list was Six Flags Great America.
Okay. Wow. That's all I'm going to say to
that. But one of the big points he gave, and just so I can cite his channel, it is Theme Park Avenue I am referencing. One of the big things he cited with Discovery Kingdom as being near the top was they were running 2-train ops on an SLC, which almost no SLCs can run 2-train ops on. So
correct. That's pretty impressive.
That was impressive. But, we are the Diz Idiots. We're the idiots, so you don't have to be. We started off with Six Flags today, but we should probably talk about some Disney stuff.
Absolutely should talk about some Disney stuff.
Which, normally I have my rest in peace segment for my wrestling podcast because wrestlers die like flies in my house.
Unfortunately.
But we have a rest in peace for the Disney podcast tonight. And this is something that even on our last trip there, I referenced as it never goes away. It's immortal. Well,
Just say it.
it's
Just
not.
Just say it.
Rest in peace, the forever broken Tower of Terror sign. And I am not going to hold a premature eulogy for it, but the word is the giant purple Mickey and Minnie sign is on life support.
You know,
why? I'm just quoting Meg. Why? Well,
they're probably tired of painting it. And I'm not kidding. It's probably an upkeep thing. We're tired of painting it.
I am much more sinister in both this and the Tower of Terror one.
Go on.
They're prepping for the state to have control of shit.
That could be.
They don't. If they're not going to have full control of the roads, they want to be like, you want the roads? Fine. We're not putting our name on top of the roads. That
I wonder what's I'm wondering if they maybe changed the law in Orange County, period. Because while you say this, something has been not still talk. I'm staying on Disney here, but the Welcome to Universal City Walk has been gone for 2 months now from City Walk. When you enter City Walk, Welcome to Universal. It's been gone now. I'm wondering, and that's not on a road, but still, if they're going to start removing signage everywhere, wonder if it's a connection. I doubt it, but just theorizing, could there be?
Yeah.
But no, listen, that could be. That certainly could. If that is, listen, if Disney wants to play that petty, they go ahead, removing the Tower of Terror sign, whatever. Everyone knows the ride's there. I'm sorry, having some of these signs for attractions, it's like, one, they have these billboards everywhere in Orlando, but two, it's kind of the icon of the park at this point, so it's a little moot to say, ride Tower of Terror. We all can see it.
There's only one person in the whole country that has more billboards than Disney. And that is Pedro for south of the border.
Excuse me, Steven Singer? They didn't have that many.
No, Pedro!
I forgot about Pedro. But yeah, it's we'll see. Now, remember, now point of contention here with the giant purple sign. They have had so many problems with that over the years, having to put up other signs, don't stop, don't take pictures or anything.
It lost its magic once all the yellow signs had to go up. Do not stop. And
maybe they're opting for, and also I'll say this. I like having it changed. It's due for a change. I like the classic of it, but if they're wanting to change it, I support it.
So, here's my idea. It is miserable. It's absolutely terrible, and I absolutely want it to happen. Because it'll annoy the piss out of everybody. Are you familiar with the Magic Road in Nevada?
I know the Magic Road in Nevada, yes.
You run over it and it plays a jingle.
Yes.
In rumble strips.
Oh, you jackass.
When you wish upon a star.
Oh, my Lanta. You know, I don't know if I hate it or love it, but for people who would have the bus drivers and people would have to drive it on the daily, you monster. You monster! Someone should stop you. But I like it. I dig where you're going with this.
So here's what you do. You make the right lane have it. You let the left lane not have it.
Then everyone's going to be, you know, traffic in the right-hand lane is going to be a misery with a capital M.
I'm just saying.
I wouldn't mind. I would not mind that. I will admit, I would not mind that. That would not bother me.
But it literally could not be more than when you wish upon a star. If you went any longer than that, You're just annoying people.
There's only one other thing, not saying the whole thing, just da 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 da.
So, hey,
oh, that's actually when you're leaving. When you're leaving, it plays Mickey Mouse.
I was about to say I could be evil and put it when you're leaving, so you could be waking up all those sleeping kids.
I think you should have something when you're leaving then.
See you real soon. I don't know how you can make that out of rumble strips, but
It's activated as the Carbo guy. See you real soon. See you real soon. See you real soon.
oh dear God,
See.
we're terrible and parents hate us.
It would never happen, though. None of this is going to happen. It's a moot point to even hope for any of this because Chapek!
It costs money.
Whoa. We would have spent, taking down's one thing, but spending money to add back in or fix, what are you talking about?
I hate Chapek. Did you hear the news? Bob Iger.
Oh, yes. Give it to us.
The one decision he regrets from his time at Disney is appointing Bob Chapek as his successor.
That's something I don't know. Maybe Iger should not have said when he said it. I don't know. Just maybe he should have waited the now 3 more years till he's gone, and then wait till he's gone, and then say, "Yeah, guy, write a book titled My One Regret." Write a book titled My One Regret.
No, see, here's where I'm going to say it. He said it at pretty close to the right time. It was just 3 weeks too late.
Right before the investors, right before they could vote him back in. Yeah, notice how that happened. Oh, oops! I could have said this earlier.
Yeah, but to make a reference to my wrestling podcast here,
again,
putting Bob Iger appointing Bob Chapek as the CEO is like Vince McMahon appointing Kevin Dunn as his successor.
And folks, if you know, you know situation. If you don't know, it doesn't make sense. But that's on the money. That's on the nose right there.
Yeah, which I don't think Vince McMahon's going to be in any position to be appointing a successor.
He's only pointing one thing, and we ain't going there.
Which I have to point out. People are like, oh, this is horrendous. This is blah, 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 blah. You do realize, technically, the thing he did wrong is not the thing anybody thinks it is. Oh, no, he was fraternizing with employees. He's a CEO. If they're consenting, he can. If they're consenting and willing, okay, now there was one somewhere he said there was undue pressure. That is wrong.
Everything else, that's business tails all this time. Also, this happens in every major company. I'm amazed he's gone this long without it.
The thing that the board is investigating him for is the fact that he doesn't look like he used his own money to pay the hush money. He didn't. He used company funds, and that's where you cross the line.
I saw that. First, I'm like, okay, so he paid some hush money, and there was like, company, you Vince, don't write it off the books. What's wrong with you?
Well, Linda would have found out about it sooner. The word on the street is they hadn't been living together in years anyway.
Oh, well, what are you going to do?
You want to live with Vince?
No, I wouldn't want to live with Linda either.
No,
says the single man who lives by himself.
I just picked. Could you imagine the sitcom, The McMahons?
Yes. Thanksgiving at the McMahons.
And Shane would be like Kramer, just coming in the door.
Thanksgiving at the McMahon's would be something excellent.
I'm picturing it like the Osbournes, but kookier.
I'm picturing a lot of pyro, Even if they don't, now that we are doing this, every time the door opens,
Oh. But, so we have that going on. I have not really seen much other Disney news going on, which is a good thing. I did see finally another Disney news site go, is a fifth gate coming? Like, oh, you've been a couple years behind. We haven't had a fifth gate article in like 3-4 years.
Yes, the fifth gate. Every time people, and I've had people say this, I wonder, would they even try to build a fifth gate? I'm just going to answer that with this. The two companies, since one has decided to come into Orlando, have always competed like this. And the moment Universal announced Epic Universe, it was already happening anyway. Disney was just like, isn't this a happy coincidence? Good.
Well, and I hate to say it this way, but it is the truth. How else are you going to add enough rides and capacity all at once? Like, we can harp on they need to add capacity, but okay, Magic Kingdom, there's no capacity to add.
Well, that's it. It's not that we discussed this too. It's not that we need to. It's not just that. Forget about it's the park wasn't built for this. Literally, there's nowhere to build and grow. You have a park that has a road around it, and there's only so much you can do without taking things out. And even then, there's literally only so much you can do. Like we discussed this Peter Pan. There literally is nothing you can do with that building to build an attraction with a higher capacity, unless you somehow build something up.
And they're not going to build up
because of the castle. I've also argued that, and you can't build down for other reasons. So you only can do so much with what you got. So it makes sense that I think a fifth gate would be something mega. It would not just be like, here's another, it would be something like, this is big. Big. We've discussed this
here's
too.
My fear. They're going to build a park. Yes, it's coming. But it's not going. You know what every other park doesn't have that Magic Kingdom has?
Charm? What?
A, B, and C attractions.
Well, because they were, again, that's all about when Magic Kingdom was built and designed. A, B, and C was how everything works. But you're right. I think a new park, if they building if I'm right in my thinking that they're going to build a mega park, they have the ability, and Disney has the ability to build A, B, C, D, E attractions. None of the super E stuff, by the way, standard stuff. But we're going to get, I think, hopefully they're smart enough, more flat rides, more heavily themed flat rides, more rides, eat more line.
Yeah. And I know they tried it a bit with Paradise Pier. But I think there is room in the market if the Imagineers can get their heads around it for Disney Does traditional.
Yeah, why not?
And
before Paradise Pier, they had it with Bugs Land.
Mm-hmm. You can do it. Disney Does traditional.
I'm just going to say what needs to be said. Just going to say what's there. The choo-choo train. But choo-choo, but literally the Heimlich's choo-choo train.
Yeah.
They proved that attraction worked for what it was. They could do it. I think they've just kind of gotten to this whole bigger, dark ride. People can knock Universal all you want. Disney just loves the dark rides. I'm not looking at a screen. Yeah, you're just looking at the same dark rides over and over again. Disney loves them. They're good. They eat up people. But I agree with you. There's nothing Disney. If any company can make traditional, it's Disney, and make it their own way. Absolutely, make traditional. Why not?
We just need rides.
Lots of them.
rides and things that my daughter can ride, my daughter's not scared of. Like, I'm sorry. Star Wars Land is a waste for my daughter. She's scared of basically the fucking land.
It's a guy. Darth Vader and the Stormtroopers are scary for a kid.
Yeah, and
Average kids. Some kids love them because they love Star Wars. But your average kid who doesn't know better is going to walk in and go, I don't like this.
yeah, I have a little girl. I want to introduce her to Star Wars. I don't want to introduce her to expanded universe stuff first, though. I want to wait till she is old enough to watch A New Hope, like you should,
I agree.
and go from there.
I agree 100%. It's a good kickoff point for knowledge of everything. I agree.
I don't want to break off and say, oh, yeah, we're going to watch this. Is it Rebels, the one that's made for kids? Or there's one that's made for, like, little kids. Little being, like, 6.
I don't know.
I don't know either, because I don't watch expanded universe stuff.
I watch it to an extent, but it's hard for me to keep it all straight when your universe gets that big. I say this, but I can somehow keep the Marvel stuff straight, but that's years of practice, even before the MCU. But I agree with you. Just need things to ride. And you know what, another thing, that the reason of any company that can do this, it's Disney. They not only have the ability, they have the ability with the Imagineers, they have the land, maintenance. To go back to Six Flags here for a second, here in New Jersey, Six Flags Great Adventure, 1999, War on Lines. They installed, I want to say it was like 25 new attractions, could be less, but they installed a butt ton of flat rides and attractions. We're fighting lines. There's going to be so many things to ride. I don't think any of them are still there, maybe a handful, because they couldn't upkeep them. They couldn't maintenance them. Now, some of them, they bought things that just, companies go bankrupt and change. But just in general, Disney can afford, it has the knowledge for the maintenance required. More attractions means more maintenance, but if Disney can't do this, no park can. Simple as that. Disney can do. They got this. And I think they just need the know-how. Not the know-how, they just need to remember, we can not just, they'll think we'll do what we want because we're Disney, they'll pay it because we're Disney, but we can do this. We're Disney. Why wouldn't we want to have all these things for kids to ride? Why wouldn't we have expanded stuff, our original stuff, expanded, because Chapek loves IP, but expanded universe stuff with this.
So,
and I'm aware Chapek will hopefully not be here when this park is opened.
I'm big braining it here. So my idea is, you call it Inspiration Land or Inspiranda or whatever. And the theory behind it is it's going to be the park Walt visited with his daughters. The one that inspired him to have Disney. It's going to be just traditional attractions done the Disney way. And the first idea I had on my head here is a select the intensity tilt-a-whirl. So you have a standard tilt-a-whirl, but when you get on, you can pull a lever, and there are counterweights on the car that can mild it out or make it more intense.
I don't dislike this. I have nothing against this. I think this is a good idea. I was going to say you could also do like a tiered tilt with 3-section tilt-a-whirl. Do you want to ride the regular one, regular intensity, the medium, or the low intensity? Whoosh, 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 slowly versus whoosh, whoosh, woo! Yeah. You're right. I have nothing against that. Okay, I can judge the intensity. Now, with this idea, would you be able to select as you go, or once ride program kicks in? I agree. That's what I'm thinking. I'm making sure we're on the same page here.
You would have the option of, you could say it is continuously variable, which is the highest intensity you could have, because you could pull the lever, like you could manipulate it to just keep spinning if you do it really right.
That would be perfect because Tilt-A-Whirls have never spun enough, in my opinion.
Oh, the Tilt-A-Whirl I went on in the traveling carnival here, like I left and I could not ride anything else that day.
That's a Tilt-A-Whirl right there.
I was more spun up than I had ever been getting off of a Gravitron or
Tilt-A-Whirl.
This dude, I guess whoever put it up just sat there with a thing of lithium lube and just
you guys gonna spin
because it was like every time it went around, we went around like 10 times.
That is awesome. That's my idea of a Tilt-A-Whirl. But you're right. And you could theme these easily, even if you did. I love the idea of having this, but even if not, you could easily have hey, all the universes somehow collided in this park, and we have all these people. This attraction's themed to this attraction's themed to that. Or it could just be this is Disneyland. This is literally call it the Disney area of Disneyland. All all classic attractions, Tilt-A-Whirl, Scrambler. I realize I'm going with like these kind of things. The Whip. Disney could make one hell of a version of the Whip.
Oh yeah.
I'll steal one from Kennywood because I think they're the only one who has a tortoise left.
But here's the thing. On the Whip, do you have Disney build a brand new, spanking new, awesome version of the Whip? Or do you have them do like the carousel and find the historic Whip? I know.
That's a tough one. I'd say build a new one, and as I'm saying that, I kind of want to jump on like a katana. I feel dirty for saying that, but I build their own version of a Whip. Even though I would love to have, unless you can find one in a good enough condition. But again, they can build their own okay. Bayern Curve. Yeah, you got a Himalaya, like the Music Express style, but they can build an actual Bayern Curve in their own right. Some of these, maybe priority here, but they can make a Himalaya. I realize, again, I'm going with a lot of spinning things, but unfortunately, hey, that's classic Carnival for you. What do you want from me? And again, I'm going to say this. They need to buy the Topple Tower from Huss and make it their own way. I just want to ride one once. I'm sorry, go on.
You know who's running this land. We need 2 people to be shysters and run this land. I think it's time for Oswald and Mortimer.
Yes! It would fit the bill perfectly.
It is literally Bizarro Disney.
Dozer. Don't you remember for a while there was talk? Thinking this is a mega park, why wouldn't you have a mega park split in 2? Good and bad. This is Bizarro Disney. Oswald and Mortimer running their version where you would having things. If they wanted to say you wanted to build a shooting attraction like a Buzz Lightyear kind of thing, but what are you shooting at? You're shooting at all caricatures of Mickey Mouse that Oswald and Mortimer would have created. And I'm not talking, it looks like Mickey Mouse, but it's like a giant dinosaur with ears on it.
Well, what you do is you begin finding all the new versions of Steamboat Willie Mickey that will appear in a couple years when his copyright runs out. And you just steal those.
You know what I mean? They could do all sorts of this. That's a good idea. I like that. I like this idea a lot. I think this would sell. And you could have shirts, Mickey with Mickey Mouse and have it crossed, looking Mortimer looking like a real glam photo, and it says Mickey crossed out with like Mortimer painted over it because that's what he would do.
the thing that's hard about this is I fear we're going to run into a Chester and Hester's problem.
Well, you
do this great thing and you make it look like they're running a park, and it would not look to Disney standards. It would look like it's on an old parking lot or whatever, like Chester and Hester's, and people won't frigging get it.
Well, I don't think you should do it looking like a parking lot. I think you should have it where literally it's supposed to look like Disney, kinda. It's like it's Disney, but it's like Wish version of Disney, if you will. It looks like, okay, we have look at our castle. We have all this, look at our nice castle, and the castle's like 2 feet tall. That kind of thing. That's what I mean. Where it's not like a parking lot, but things like that, where it's our versions of rides, but like, oh my gosh, our castle, come see this, come see that. Almost like a sideshow, if you will, but it's all like, it's there, but he gets that close.
Don't worry. Our fireworks go to 11.
Yeah, and their fireworks are just like a bunch of fountains or something. They can do something funny.
I was making a Spinal Tap reference.
Oh.
The Tufa Castle.
Oh, I see what you did there. Afterwards, I see what you did there. But yeah, it's that kind of stuff. It's like, I think that I agree with you, because if you did it wrong with Chester and Hester's, they wouldn't get it. But that's why you make it look kind of like we just missed it.
Well, the hard thing for me is I am trying to picture this, but I'm picturing it all in black and white.
Oh, I picture it in color, but it's like faded. You purposely built it faded color. Well, we ran out of. We couldn't buy this blue, so we had to buy this one. That kind of thing. Though, or like, actually, castle. If it's either the Tufa Castle, come see our castle. It's just a coming soon attraction in front of a picture. Or something like that. So all sorts of things they could do.
No. They just go. They need to spend a little money here. But it's not going to be much because it doesn't operate. They disassemble and just reassemble the castle from Joyland.
Yes.
I love this idea. It's so terrible. I love it.
They could do all sorts of things where it's like you could even have old attractions reference, coming soon, 20,000 leagues under the sea. Make it look like they're trying to buy off old attractions that Disney used to have. Not that they have them, but you'd have signs for them.
See, we were on the same page, but we went slightly differently. You went for a beloved attraction. I was going to have coming soon, rocket rods.
Yes! Things like that. All sorts of things. Where among their other attractions, you have, again, because you'd have, these are, I don't want to consider them less attractions, but they're more traditional carnival, less standard stationary theme park rides. But you'd have all the attractions of what they're trying to build and things that they could never get. Rocket rods, all sorts of things. Something new is on the horizon, wink.
Okay. I hate to say it, but if we're doing this park, a good and evil park, a Disney park and a DisneyWish.com park, there does need to be a Super E attraction.
Okay.
But I don't know how it's going to work. It's going to be some sort of dark ride, but there's an entrance on each side.
Yes! Oh my God, yes.
It's kind of dueling, but kind of not.
Talent borrows, genius steals. The answer is right in front of us, Mr. Toad. I'm not saying we do Mr. Toad, but that kind of thing to attract 2 entrances, and you have different. It's right there. The answer is right in front of them. This is a genius idea. Bob! Hey, Bob, are you listening? Take notes, Bob. We got you.
Tom, this is a message for you.
He won't listen.
We need
I've
help.
tried.
We need help. We will work on Bob. You work on the plans.
I've tried. He doesn't listen.
We
I've tried.
need you.
Every time I say we're bugged, I go to what I think is bugged and go, if you can hear this, Tom, please, we're begging you. We'll do
Help
whatever
us.
you want.
Help us, Tommy One Kenobi. You're our only hope.
We will literally go ahead, take your wildest idea. We will run with it. We will buy your craziest merchandise. I promise.
Joe Rody, not you. This is not for you. We need shit that'll be done in a reasonable time frame. This is not for you. I love you, Joe Rody. This is not you.
Joe, your time is gone. We love you though. We miss you. We'll model somebody after you, traditional Joe Rody style.
But I think we've just built a fifth gate. Better than any fifth gate I've heard of yet.
And like I said, even if it's a mega park, we at least give them half of the fifth gate.
And
I'm not talking we're doing 10 attractions. I'm talking you gotta have as many as possible.
And okay. So we have Oswald and Mortimer running the dark side. I feel like Mickey and Donald running the light side is not. That's not. We don't need them. They have the Magic Kingdom.
They're the owners. They don't plan and operate it. They just own it. What?
No, he's bad most of the time.
Who? Pete?
I was going to say Goofy and Pete.
Pete would fit the bill. Pete would. They could even make reference to it. Aren't we usually fighting with you? But I don't like those jerks over there. You can make him. He would not get along with Oswald and Mortimer.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Okay, now we need some attractions. I've got some right off the bat here on the light side. First off, it may be relevant at that time. It may not, because Disney shows don't always last long. But we need the Roadster Racer attraction.
Isn't Roadster Racers already gone?
Probably, but it became Mixed Up Adventures, which is essentially Roadster Racers.
I'm okay with that. Having something like, honestly, just in general, even if you don't call it Roadster Racers, it fits. You could easily do an attraction like that and have no problem.
Okay, I'm solving a couple problems here. So you demolish the speedway. You move all the cars to a Roadster Racer thing. You reskin them as Roadster Racers. You have now opened up land in the Magic Kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Big land. Big.
But you have kept an historic attraction.
Mm-hmm. I think I see no problem with this. For this, the good side is where it would have some of the bigger attractions they like to build, some of the bigger dark rides, and some more big things like that. But again, you're still going to have big stuff on the other side, but this is where you're really going to want to have your, again, to show the parity of, and I'm also going to say this, they can be running it, but they may run their own original ideas on this side.
So here's my idea of a C to D ticket attraction on the Mortimer Oswald side. What is that thing? The Falcon Flyers, is it, at all the parks? It goes up and you're in the little car and it's spinning high in the air.
Like the Condor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Simple.
I like the Condor. Okay. While we're doing the Condor, because we mentioned Great Escape before, can we bring back the Rainbow?
What's the Rainbow?
The Rainbow Alibaba? Hold on.
Is it flat car, counterweight vehicle, goes up like this? I know that as the Joker from from Dorney.
Joker, Rainbow, Alibaba, whatever you want to call it.
No, I love that. Prince
I-
Ali, Alibaba.
Again, have their knockoff version. That could be on the good side. Also, there was an idea here right in front of us that I'm not saying it needs to be the overall theme, but it could just be its own attraction there. It's time for House of Mouse to have its own little thing. That could be maybe your 3D movie theater.
Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I am literally looking down Main Street, USA.
Mm-hmm.
And just imagine you have one side in full, beautiful color. And I'm still on the black and white.
I
You have
love
the
the
other side in sepia tone.
Already love this. I'm already here for this. Now, I think throughout the park, you need to have color on the black and white side, but on the entrance, I love this. Having, again, not their own version of not Main Street, but their own version of a welcome area. And it's this is the color good side. This is.
Oh, that's evil. Never mind.
Go, say it.
No, I am not giving Chapek this idea.
No, I need it. Say it. Come on.
You get into the Oswald and Mortimer side for free, but they charge per attraction.
You villain! You monster! It would fit though. It would fit. Listen, they charge per attraction, but they're scanning. Yeah, I see what you're going for.
Oh, why am I so evil?
You don't have to, but you definitely have to have signs up of but not just signs. It should be like a fake thing for tickets is like 10,000 tickets per ride.
Scan here for more tickets. Oh. The problem, you can't do that.
No. That's what I mean. You have it where they don't have to do that, but you have signage everywhere that looks like you do. And but that you have tickets.
No. You don't even have the signage, Bruce. I am thinking of guest relations.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
I am thinking of your people.
That side wouldn't have guest relations. Screw them. I'm not out there anymore. I don't have to deal with it. I love this idea. And that side wouldn't have guest relations. The guest relations would literally be a counter with a box on it. It says replies within 10 to 15 business days. Not open Monday. Not open Monday through Saturday, or not open Saturday through Sunday, or something ridiculous like that.
Open Saturday to Sunday, 4 a.m. to 5 a.m.
That's ridiculous.
And I'm imagining a fireworks show that's literally a fireworks fight, and you have big, beautiful fireworks coming off from the other side. And and I would only trust Disney to do this, that just appear to be misfiring.
Yes.
This is a free idea.
This is gold. Gold.
It's a free idea, but I would not argue payment.
If I don't need payment, I just need you to succeed here. That's all. Tell you what, I take that back. He doesn't need payment. All you have to do is finally have a mature Halloween event. It's all Disney. I'm not asking for much.
The one side has not so scary. The other side has so very scary.
It's so very scary. It's like total knockoff. Totally not scary at all. But they just ooh.
I am literally trying to think of like knockoffs for every single thing they could have. And so you have the big e-ticket that there's going to be the two versions of. I feel like there needs to be at least one or two other rides that have perfect parity. Your D and your C, your big D and your little C that are spot spot on. Bat Bruce. You have the Mickey side running the brand new and improved whip,
Mm-hmm.
and you have the Mortimer side running the historic whip.
I'm here for it. Brand new and improved. We've revamped it. I like this.
With the running joke being, and this is a running joke that's going to happen, whether we want it to or not. The historic whip has better uptime than the new one. The crappy version's better. It runs.
New and classic smell. They have new car smell over there. We have classic whip scent. And if you've ever been on a whip, if you know, you know. I love that smell, but if you've ever been on one, you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Wait, Dozer. Oh my, the mirror. Oh my. It's the Flume ride. You have a state-of-the-art Flume ride on the Mickey side, and it is literally the old classic, no theming, log and tubes up a couple of drops on the other side. It's a literal log Flume versus a state-of-the-art Flume ride.
I dig it.
Again, these things write themselves.
By the way, Dorney Park had a great Flume ride. I love that.
Oh my gosh, built into the side, everything. Oh yeah, they used the landscape there perfectly. I love that Flume.
This is just me reminiscing on how long it's been since I've been on a good Flume ride.
They don't make them anymore, man. You know why? A lot of them are all about the splashdown. A lot of them are all just giant shoot the shoots. Up 120 feet, turn a thing down 120 feet. Or if you're Intamin, get in a really dangerous lift hill system that we're intent on making happen.
So, I've been on several of the splashdown shoot the shoots. And here's the thing I have to say. I've been on several of them. Dorney Parks is by far my favorite for a couple of reasons. And they're stupid, simple reasons. One, the top turnaround is undercover.
Mm-hmm.
I like this. I like shade. Two, the top is in water. I hate these ones where you're rolling on the top.
I agree. There's only one I would say that I put above it, and that's just a little nostalgia reason, but because Escape from Pompeii. You're up, you're in a show building, you're down.
Yeah, but Escape from Pompeii has more. I am talking just the shoot the shoots.
I thought it was just up, a turn, and down. Is there more to Escape from Pompeii than I remember?
Yeah.
Oh.
First, there's effects.
Oh, well, yeah. I meant, but it's up. Okay, I see what you mean. We're talking just splash, simple splash. I always considered it a shoot the shoot because all you really do is go up into the show building and back out.
Yeah, but you bob around a bit. It's not just
okay. Yeah,
up
it's not
horseshoe
the
down.
Sound, yeah. I agree. Dorney, I like that there's always in shade and that you're in water. You know what? A lot of the old school ones where you were in water, I don't know when this happened where we're going to roll you around because somehow that became a thing.
I know where it became a thing. An engineer looked at it and went, why am I compensating for all this water weight up there? And then pumping this water up there.
And the most elaborate shoot the shoots that ever lived, also known as Jurassic Park River Adventure in Orlando. All it is one giant shoot the shoot that we elongated to hell.
God, I hate that ride.
Great drop. A great drop. Great drop. I love that drop. One of my favorite shoot the shoot drops are ever. One of my favorite Flume drops out there. But my God,
it's like, don't get me wrong, I love the ride in its day, but one, after seeing the effects they had in Hollywood,
after
and I'm like,
every other version.
wait a moment. We have a Velociraptor cage that often doesn't work. and you have a car that comes down the side.
It's funny because true, even though the logs are garbage, the better Flume ride has and always will be Dudley Do Right. Dudley Do Right's one of my favorite Flume rides at all. I love that ride to death. It's so well themed to the theme to Dudley Do Right. It's a fantastic Flume ride. It's number 2 only to Splash Mountain, in my opinion. But that, I agree with you though. Again, that's why I say it's the most elaborate shoot the shoots ever because it's bob, 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 up, turn down.
Yeah.
Talk about Lift Hill the attraction.
It really is. On related news, I watched Jurassic Park Dominion last night.
Oh, how was it?
Oh, I really enjoyed it.
Oh, good.
It was well worth the $0 I paid for it.
Hey, it's about. I'll watch it eventually, one day, maybe.
I also need to state, I have not seen the middle one. I've seen Jurassic World and Dominion. I have not seen whatever one happened in between.
I didn't care for that one. It was okay.
I
don't like that we have a plot line. I'm literally just watched Jurassic Park or Jurassic World for dinosaurs. That's all I care about. I just like looking at dinosaurs.
And this one has you covered in that. I'm not trying to spoil anything, but I have to say, I think my favorite thing about it is Dodgson, because I think that's already been spoiled. He's in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
That he is just a cut-rate Tim Cook. It's like he's some of this weird hybridization of Tim Cook and Steve Jobs, and
okay,
it's hilarious.
Oh, I've heard good things. I'll see it. I Top Gun Maverick is more of a priority when I get to see that, but I'll see Jurassic Park eventually. I'm still trying to avoid paying to watch The Black Phone, but I'm going to crave eventually because it's now available on streaming, and I really want to see it. So,
The Black Phone.
It's more of a. I'll get there in a second.
Okay.
I tell you what, we'll do that now. While we're on this, I'll give it. I don't remember if I did this yet. I'll give a Horror Nights update. We had another house announcement. Again, I don't remember if I did it. If I did it, I apologize. It was leaked by AMC before anything else. AMC leaked this clear and wide. The Horrors of Blumhouse returns with Freaky and The Black Phone. Blumhouse's new horror movie starring Ethan Hawke. I've heard it's getting fantastic marks, which for a horror movie concerns me, but I really do want to. I've heard good things. I really would like to see this, but that is now confirmed to be coming to Halloween Horror Nights 31. While we're on the topic, we haven't had any other announcements since. There's a reason for that. HHN 25 Scream couldn't happen, and they had to replace it with The Purge. 26 they were planning The Conjuring, couldn't happen, so it did it with The Hive. I am sad to report officially 100% The Evil Dead has been scrapped from Halloween Horror Nights 31, despite being very, very far along. Rumor has it they were almost basically ready for Blood Day on the house. They had to scrap it. Don't know why, but this time I don't know why. I know the other two were. But it had to be scrapped from the event this year. So the rumor I've heard is that the rumored house is called Rat Race. For those Horror Night fans who may, Rat Run was a scare zone when they had the dual park. I've heard, rumor has it maybe the old adage for Horror Nights, when in doubt, roll Jack out. So it could be something that they pulled down real quick, and you're going to be in a soundstage running around a chain link as Jack and icons yell at you or things come at you. Who knows? But that is officially scrapped, and because of that, Evil Dead was on everything, all the marketing, all the promotions. Evil Dead with Halloween, Horrors of Blumhouse, and I can't believe I'm saying this. I can't believe it. Looks like the rumor is true. The Weekend is still hasn't been confirmed, but it hasn't not been confirmed. So looks like the Weekend is officially coming to Horror Nights eventually. We'll see. I actually did a mirror maze tonight at the American Dream. and it was fantastic. We boosted my money, and I'm walking through going, after watching his performance at the Super Bowl, going, if this is what the house is going to be like, this is going to be awesome. I was fantastic. I had a great. I was walking through, and eventually the lights went out. I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's like being at the event. This is incredible. I have no idea where I'm going, and I'm trapped in a corner." It happened multiple times. It was fantastic. Me and my sister had a wonderful time. But that's the HHN updates. Update for that. There is rigging, what we told was being demolished. There is lighting rigging in the old Fear Factor Live Theater. They're doing a show. I hear it's Nightmare Fuel too, but cross your fingers, knock on wood. Maybe we're going to get Bill and Ted back. I doubt it. I'm not hearing that. Facades are going up, or sets are going up for Scare Zones. We're in the middle of July here, folks. I have a trip booked. I'm going down in October. I'm going to do 2 days at Disney, so buckle up. Those are sigh of relief here. I'm coming down to do Cosmic and more importantly, I'm doing Rise of the Resistance come hell or high water. You will finally, for any longtime viewers of this, Bruce will finally be put up or shut up, and they can finally hear me stop bitching about this attraction.
No, we'll just hear a whole new level of bitching.
I was say, I'm either going to ride this and go, kids complained much. I liked it. I had a good time. Or you're gonna hit our rant to end all rants. But that's what we're doing. Still debating. I might do a night at SeaWorld for a Hollow Scream. We'll see. But as Halloween Horror Nights updates come, still no word on passes. Rush of Fear and Frequent Fear, as we know, will go. But that's what I'm understanding is the only hold up here is possible the weekend and just changing things. I think they want to get a plan down and before they announce anything else.
Okay.
We will see. Black Phone I haven't seen, but as I say that, I'm excited that Freaky's coming. And if you're a horror movie fan and you have not seen Freaky, do yourself a favor. It's awesome. Vince Vaughn is freaking amazing in the film. One of the best he's ever been. Backstory of Freaky, it was originally Freaky Friday the 13th. It's a combination of Friday the 13th and a horror movie because they switch places. But a teenage girl switches places with a serial killer. So for most of the movie is acting like a 16-year-old girl, and this 16-year-old girl is acting like a serial killer. It is fan-freaking-tastic. Okay. At one point, Vince Vaughn looks like he's going to kiss one of the other boys. I'm like, they're not actually doing this now, right? That kid's like 15, or supposed to be 15 here.
Oh my.
Doesn't happen. Just a fantastic, fantastic movie set in the same universe as Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day 2 U, also underrated movies if you've never seen them.
Okay.
But that's all I really got on that. And I don't much in Jurassic. I don't have anything on Jurassic World. I haven't really seen too many movies other than, Bob's Burgers. But I love Bob's Burgers.
For me, it's just breaking news of when I see a movie.
I'm actually not only did you see a newer movie, you saw a movie before I did, which is rare. I like this.
Look, I have my sister-in-law in the house, and I have a Plex server.
Enough said.
It occupied her. I got to see it.
Enough said.
And hey, it was a pretty damn good movie.
It's all that matters. Got to be entertained.
I really enjoyed where the cast came together. Not spoiling anything.
Now, are they in it for a good amount of time?
It's an A and a B plot.
Okay.
The casts of both movies are running side by side. There's only one character who is in it for less, but he's still in it considerably.
I'm just curious. Actually, I say this. Me and my buddy were talking about this last night, watching Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. Because Jurassic World Dominion, we knew these characters are going to be in the movie. We both said back in the time before spoilers in the internet, How awesome must that have been for people sitting in this movie theater, and 5 minutes into the movie, Nancy walks in for Nightmare on Elm Street. People must have gone out of their minds. So just, it's good I'm glad to hear that they were in the movie for a considerable amount, because you never know. Not knocking it, Ghostbusters Afterlife was a fantastic film, but I even knew they're only going to be in a little bit.
What upsets me is, as we theoretically, and believe me, like any good end of franchise, the door is open.
Always got to leave it open. Unless your Halloween ends. Please don't leave that open. Just end it.
How do we go 6 movies into this franchise, and the kids from the original one have never made a reappearance?
That's a good point. It's a very good point, actually. Are they alive?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if we had a Carol Ann situation, if you know what I mean.
Well, look, here's the
great general tragedy.
Here's the great thing about kids. You can generally replace them with not the same person.
Well, you can with kids, but as you've heard me say before, the original Andy freaking Barclay from Child's Play is still playing Andy freaking Barclay as an adult. I mean, for Christ's sake, these kids could come back and make an appearance as an adult. But that's why I asked: is this a poltergeist situation where
I haven't looked that deep into it, but like, how are they not reappeared?
They might not have want to.
Okay, you could still have their characters appear. Like,
I agree. I'm not fighting you or disagreeing with you. I'm just saying there's always a chance they wanted them to, and they were like, I don't want to, and they're like, screw them, we'll write them off.
Or, heck, even Ian Malcolm's daughter. Or anybody from the Lost World. Except Ian Malcolm.
What were the kids' names in the original? Help me out here.
Who cares what their name? I looked it up, last night, but I don't remember at this point.
Yep. Oh, got it. Well, this one did. Give me 1 second. The last movie this one did was Bohemian Rhapsody. And let's get to the girl. She hasn't done anything since 2013. Battle Dogs.
Okay.
Ooh, she did Back to Perfection. Yikes. Tremors. Back to Perfection.
Okay.
Yeah, none of them have had exactly illustrious movie careers. Even more further cementing. Why not? You had everybody else in this. Why not them?
Yeah. It was a good movie. Chris Pratt doesn't suck. Bryce Dallas Howard doesn't suck.
Not surprising there.
No one else sucked. Mostly because I forgot their actors' names.
I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just going to say what needs to be said. Jurassic Park and Jurassic World kind of peaked with Jimmy Buffett. After that, just all downhill.
Yes, that is true. Oh, and B.D. Wong still doesn't suck.
Well, okay. Name me the movie where he sucks. Oh, wait.
There's that one episode of Law and Order.
No, I said movie, not Law and Order.
Yeah, all in all, it's a solid C on my opinion. I did get Meg to watch Multiverse of Madness. She didn't hate it, which was impressive.
That's good. I love that movie.
I thought she'd hate it because it's so weird.
It is, but I love that movie so much.
It's top dog, and I honestly just wanted her to watch it so I could start watching Ms. Marvel.
I just finished Ms. Marvel.
How
Loved
is
it. Loved Loved this series. I did. I just thought it was fantastic. The last episode is very important for a various amount of reasons. They explain a certain amount of things that for the MCU going forward that needed to be explained.
Okay, I will happily watch it. I will say on the whole Ms. Marvel thing, I love watching people that don't know the source material bitch about stuff.
What's there? They actually and some when Ms. Marvel was written, she was written to be a particular way for a certain reason. It has to do with her classification of superhero, if you get my drift. And this kind of retcons that because she was written that way. I found out for a particular reason. They fixed that. So to go forward here, at least as far as the movies and TV go. And we know she's going to be in the Marvels, and this does lead into that. And I'm happy to report that not only is she going forward in the Marvels, but the people who play her family are. And if you haven't seen Miss Marvel, that's a great thing. It's a very wholesome. This is a very wholesome show. I don't say wholesome like it's a very family oriented with that, but it's also a coming of age story for her. It's a very good introduction for a character most people are not as familiar with.
And yeah, that's all I'm saying with it is everyone's sitting there going, how dare they continue to shove the wokeness down our throats? And you just sit there and go,
what's wokeness about this?
Her affiliations.
That's how she's written.
I know, but it's people who don't know the source material. They think that Disney is shoehorning this in there, and you go, no, this has always been part of this character. This is not them trying to shoehorn it into the plot.
It's very good representation of your Miss Marvel. It's perfect. She does such a good job. It's really, I'm really pleased. You know, the Jersey proud. I'm excited to see. I'm very excited for the Marvels now. Very excited knowing that we're gonna get her, Brie, and America all in the same movie. This is gonna be good.
I'm excited. So many movies I need to see.
And I did hear another rumor going around, not for this movie, but well, they announced that it's been announced that Kang is not just coming, but we're going to finally, because a lot of people have been calling after. I haven't seen Love and Thunder yet, but a lot of people have been calling for a direction for Phase 4. They said it doesn't feel like it has direction, which I understand it does, but Kang is coming and lots of him. So get ready. I've heard rumors that a certain villain will be in Quantumania. Kang will not just be the only villain.
Here's what I'm going to say. To everyone saying Phase 4 needs a direction, go back and watch Phase 1 prior to Captain America. Find a direction.
I will say this. I understand why people say that only because unlike them, you just had a few movies. There's so much TV in here that they're mapping out the hours of it. If people are forgetting, there's certain, like they're counting Moon Knight in Phase 4. Moon Knight has nothing to do with the movies, they've said. He will probably be, certain things will, but he'll be his own entity. Now, we know this, and we know the shows are going to incorporate a lot more than they originally meant to, because that's storytelling for you. But just buckle up. They're going someplace with this because we know they are. We know he's only been in once, but we know we're not just getting, they announced, you're not just going to see Kang. You're going to see Kang on Kang Violence. You're going to see all played by the same guy who did it in Loki, and he's great. You're going to see more Kangs than you know what to do with soon. And it's going to happen. What I like, we're at the precipice. It's going to go fast from here.
And part of the reason I watched Multiverse of Madness again with Meg was because she has not watched nearly as much of the secondary shows as I have. And it was mainly to test, can she follow without knowing the shows?
She did?
She did.
Good.
And not only that, it needs to also be hammered in. Neither Meg nor I have seen The Eternals.
You don't need to.
I'm not saying I need to. Shang-Chi
Oh, do yourself a favor, watch Shang-Chi.
or Spider-Man. We haven't seen any of those. And this movie made sense.
You know what? The only one you need to have seen for this to really not make sense. It's not that it doesn't make sense. It just gives you more appreciation for what they're doing. Was WandaVision? That's the only one. And I've seen Spider-Man: Far From Home, No Way Home, whatever home it is. Jesus, I hate that they're all home.
And I honestly forget, because Meg and I watched a good amount of WandaVision. I forget if she watched the finale.
They kind of, if you didn't watch the finale, that is the actual lead into the film in its own way. But even then, it just speeds up of, oh, she got here 0 to this. Wow. How did she get to 0 to this? It just kind of sped that up. They do explain everything. It just gives it a little extra oomph of appreciation to what they wanted to do. It also gives a little more motivation. Other than that, I think I can understand certain people being, not saying Meg would feel this way. I could understand certain casual fans being thrown of, whoa, 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 spoiler alert, like, why is Wanda the villain? You know, whoa, 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 whoa. Also, those complaining about that, do a little history into Wanda Maximoff and the Scarlet Witch. Kind of has her own, where the WandaVision itself was kind of an adaptation of the House of M storyline. Wanda's always kind of blended that line. She's a hero only when she really wants to be. She's a villain when she really wants to be. Wanda's really only ever out for Wanda.
And I have to say, Meg popped for Xavier. And she never watched the cartoon.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I like that scene for many different reasons. I love that only one of them really walks away. So our villain's still here. But we will see how this all goes forward.
Mordo, the payoff that'll never come.
It'll never come, but I'm just glad he's still here. Considering we got to see Mr. Fantastic get ripped apart Shang-Chi style.
Oh. It was so good.
Such a good movie.
I do have to say, I enjoyed watching Black Bolt die.
Oh, see, I actually believe Black Bolt's death, that's the only one I think was personal for Marvel.
If you get my drift,
because spoiler, that's part of Miss Marvel. If you know what I mean. When I say they make changes, if you know, you know, and I know you, I know you don't mind this kind of stuff. They explain a lot, including her classification. So
does a certain show not exist anymore?
Not that a certain show doesn't exist. There's a certain word that may not be existing anymore. I could be wrong. Now, as I say this, I still want a giant bulldog. But I think an Inhuman may no longer be possible. Again, it's hard to say how they're going to go from here. It still could be. I'm not saying Black Bolt and the Inhumans don't exist, but I felt very, very, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, I still think killing Black Bolt the way they did, and especially making his mouth go away, felt very personal.
It's almost like there's a history in these movies of characters losing their mouth.
There are characters that have fixed the problem in the future. I believe we are at the future where the problem has been fixed.
Though the one future they give him his mouth back, the other future they take it away.
They still fix it. Still fixed it. I'm sorry, the Inhumans was just such a bad show. I know apparently Eternals 2 is happening. There's a bunch of leaks that pops up, possible leaks, but I liked the Eternals. It just felt the Eternals felt like the most that could pop the bubble because it felt as so far of an offshoot. Despite having a fantastic cast. My God, that has a great cast.
I think the Eternals, and I haven't seen it, I think it's playing the long game.
They're playing the long game. There's no doubt they're playing the long game. I just more mean that it will join in.
How long did it take for Thor to get a good movie?
Yeah, and I've heard mixed reports out of Love and Thunder.
Hey, I was talking about Ragnarok.
I know you're talking Ragnarok. Ragnarok slapped. I love Ragnarok.
To be fair, I liked Thor 1.
I liked Thor 1. I hated Thor 2. That's my least favorite MCU movie. But I'm just going to say what needs to be said here. Did Thor Ragnarok really work on its own? Or did it work just because, it really was Thor Planet Hulk in its own way at points?
You're right.
I love Ragnarok. Don't get me wrong. Despite that fact that I think the director of both Ragnarok and Love and Thunder needs to have his mouth stapled shut sometimes.
Look, you know what we're all waiting for. And that is Deadpool 3, where he teams up with Korg for the entire movie.
Really? Because I'm thinking Deadpool 3 with Korg and Cable.
And Infinite Thanos references?
You know, Korg and Deadpool would just drive Cable up a freaking wall. And literally, it'd be he would be shooting Deadpool constantly, looking at Korg and go, when Korg looks and goes, I can't do this to you.
I'm just waiting for Cable to shoot Deadpool's head and him to return. Don't you know how much that stings? No.
And he would do it and go, don't you get what I mean? Don't you see what I did there? That's Men in Black 2? You never seen Men in Black 2? Never mind.
I need that. And I think Deadpool 3 is where if at any point you are going to have the Hugh Jackman Wolverine return, you put it in there as just a throwaway.
I want not just a Hugh Jackman Wolverine return. After watching The Boys, I want an alternate multiverse dimension where we have Hugh Jackman and Carl Urban as Wolverine meeting face to face, because I think that would be fantastic with whoever's going to be playing him for the future.
I want an alternate universe where you have like 5 Wolverines meeting up. And they're all just different levels of absurd. You have Hugh Jackman, Carl Urban, Arnold Schwarzenegger, The Rock.
Say it, because we're all thinking Sly. Say it.
Sly. And Tony Shalhoub. No, I want a completely absurd Wolverine. I want somebody who...
No, not Tony Shalhoub. Hold on. No, Tom Holland would have been perfect at a certain point. I'm thinking somebody who's like real... Go on.
DJ Quails.
Yep, done. Perfect. Sign it.
Tom Green.
Yeah, anything. Somebody really out of it. Somebody... Patton Oswalt. Patton Oswalt.
Wayne Knight.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I was going to say Bruce Campbell's another one on that list would be perfect. But Wayne Knight. Wayne Knight would be fantastic.
Ow!
Ow! What do you mean, guys? Ow! No one told me this was going to hurt so much. But can he be Wayne Knight from Space Jam?
Newman.
Which is funny. That's the second time Newman's come up in my. I'm not a Seinfeld fan. The second time Newman's come up in my mind this week. Again, yesterday watching horror movies, referencing Franklin from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm like, that's the closest I personally have to Newman because every time I see him, I go Franklin.
Dinkelberg.
Here's where Keep Ethan Winters. If I could catch him. Oh, that's also a recommendation for our sci-fi fans out there. Resident Evil on Netflix. Fantastic. For sci-fi horror fans, Resident Evil on Netflix, the new show. Runs out of steam near the end, but fantastic.
Okay.
Best adaptation we've had of it.
I've heard of a lot of mixed reviews on it, but I don't take reviews that highly.
As a big Resident Evil fan, never misses a game. Whoa, fantastic.
I take a lot of reviews, like I take reviews of the Halo show. You don't understand what adapting for a medium is.
Here's my problem with the Halo show. I have one real problem with the Halo show. Why is season 2 not in front of me now? It's not fair. I don't want to wait. It's too good. You can't make something that good and not give me more. It was so good. So good. How can people not like it? It was so good.
I don't know. It's
so good. I just want more now. I don't want to wait.
And while waiting to play co-op Halo Infinite, I've started yet another campaign in the beta. Because I can play through the beta right now and get some skulls. So when we play together, we'll have skulls.
Yes. Oh my God. We're going to have so much fun. Oh, it's going to be awful. They're going to unleash us.
I've already got Boom and Cowbell.
All right. That's what I'm talking about.
The sad thing is I got to beat the whole thing again to get Bandana or Grunt Birthday Party.
But I thought you said Grunt Birthday Party was early.
No, it's like the second to last level.
Boo.
Grunt Birthday Party is one of the harder ones to get.
And that's I'm thinking of a different one. I know there's one you surprised me. You said how early you got it. I was like, really?
Boom and Cowbell are the first two. It's I Would Have Been Your Daddy is stupid early.
That's it. I was like, there's one of them I was surprised how early you got it. That was it.
It's because it's an open world one, and as soon as you can get to the top of the tower, you can get it.
There you go.
And if you're good with the grapple hook, you can get there pretty early. And you get a good what's his name? Korg is sticking in my head. Craig reference up there.
Nice.
Now, the Bandana one's the one that's hardest because you have to go through half of a level without killing a sentinel.
Why are they so mean? Were they not hugged enough as children? Who made this?
Grunt Birthday Party involves like grapple hooking to a spot you can't see, getting a power seed, grappling to another spot you can't see, putting it in there, then going through half the level, killing a room full of invisible elites with swords, and getting the skull.
What happened to them as children? What did we do to deserve this? What did I do? What did us as gamers do? Who hurt you? What's your damage? I forget who made this. I instinctively always want to say Bungie. I know it's not Bungie, but what's your damage, guys? Who developed this crap?
For Grunt Birthday Party, the one everybody wants because it makes the game infinitely more fun. Yay!
Yes, it does. Oh my gosh.
I have a theory. Once you've unlocked Grunt Birthday Party, can you play the game without it on?
Yes, but why? Why would you, once you have it, why would you ever not put it on?
I don't know. But no, I thoroughly enjoy it, and I'm excited for co-op. The way they have done co-op, it makes sense.
I'm a big fan of being able to play co-op through story mode of shooters anymore. I like to play co-op. I like when we're playing the story.
So I have watched an hour on this already of the 343 developers playing it. Telling you.
3-4 feet. That's who made it.
So it operates in a way where you can't join in progress. You have to party up before you enter.
Okay.
When you enter, the system reverts you to the earliest save of a party member. So if I'm on level 5, you're on level 3, we go to level 3. I still have everything I've unlocked. You still have everything you've unlocked. If there are things I have unlocked that you haven't, they are still available to unlock in the world.
Okay.
You will get it, I will not.
Okay, interesting.
And vice versa, if you find something that I passed and didn't get, I now get it too when you unlock it. And if I go and open it again, you get it.
Okay.
So that's how that works. And I think that
that's fair.
You have a pretty generous bubble that you have to get away from before it auto kills you. Because it is open world and you can't have two people going to complete opposite sides of the map.
Yeah, that makes sense. I get it.
But like generally we can be within mostly the same level and not have an issue.
Yeah. And when they do that, there's always room for exploration at the same level, especially with scope of Halo games. But yeah, that makes perfect sense where it can't be, hey, I'm gonna do this, you go do that.
Yeah. So
look, games like this to me are open worlds. You're open world, but you're still in a set level area.
I know a lot of people have been very critical about it not having co-op from the beginning. I understand the complexities of this co-op.
Yeah.
I would have liked it from the beginning, but there are more pressing things.
Like we've said, I believe it was delay the game again or just get it out and give them co-op later. They did the right thing, not delaying the game again.
Mm-hmm. And lately, somebody's finally come out and put a report out of why development has been so slow on new things coming to it. And okay, it makes sense. 343 and other developers out there, because there's been a general slowdown in gaming as of late, within like the last 6 months or so. It's almost like an entire country of developers has become unavailable.
Yeah. People don't like to talk about that.
Like there's an entire country of developers that are rather cheap that they just can't access for some reason.
Yeah, I know.
You know, like they could probably pay them in vodka.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that's been an issue, and just in general, there's been a lot of, even going back a few years now, there's been a lot. It's come out that these developers have been pushing staff way too hard, in that they're making unreasonable deadlines. They're announcing projects too soon, and I only can excuse so much out of 343 here because you were supposed to launch the year before. I know COVID, blah, blah, blah. Still.
And what pains me is there's a lot of cool shit coming to the Master Chief Collection too. Have you heard about all this?
I have.
All the beta stuff from like ever?
I was stunned. It was like, first off, I was like, they're still supporting this?
Hardcore. They know where their bread's buttered.
They think they're Rockstar. Oops, did I say that?
No, because generally they're supporting this. They're generally not making money off of it. But here's the thing. they keep supporting it because who owns them? Microsoft.
Mhm.
What is probably one of the flagship games that's perennial on Game Pass?
You do the math. It's one of Microsoft flagship games, period. It's been their unofficial mascot for how many years now?
Yeah. I've started seeing headlines. It's time to retire the Master Chief. No, it's not.
Sure, and Nintendo's going to retire the plumber.
Here's the thing.
It's not the same, but it is.
I agree that it is time to have more Halo protagonists. I don't think it's time to say the Master Chief is gone and done.
Again, my big thing here to say that I think you should have other protagonists, and it's not as prevalent as Mario is to Nintendo, but it's a good thing to have his face out there. He's recognizable. He's a part of the Microsoft brand. He's what helps Xbox sell. Sony is literally only selling on name. Until recently, that's been enough. It's starting to dip a little.
Well, and there's been the whole thing that Microsoft paid off the chip manufacturers to prioritize their chips.
Oh, woe is me.
Oh no, they use their vast resources to have vast resources.
And in retaliation, Sony brought Bungie.
Oh no, they own Destiny.
Destiny, I do know people. Still a thriving community, but just that's my joke is that Microsoft bought Bethesda and Blizzard Activision. And what was Sony's biggest acquisition? Bungie.
Well, here's the thing. And I get people like Bungie is God. Bungie has made 2 good games.
Have they?
There's a thriving Destiny community. I will take it. I've never played it. And they've made Halo. But they don't own Halo.
Ding, 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 ding. That's why they've made it, but they don't own it. They have what? They have Destiny.
And I'd like to point out that most of the OG Halo team is either not with Bungie or back at 343.
Ding, 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 ding. Exactly. That's why when people say that argument, I'm like, I know what you're saying, but the words aren't matching here.
Joe Staten, the mastermind behind Halo and Destiny, is back at 343.
Mm-hmm. And listen, Destiny, it's just a different style of game. I don't like the way I don't like modern game where they want to force you to go play every game every day forever and ever. Amen. It's just not how I play. I play such a variety of games and types of games. I like that. But when you get to that's what I mean. When you get down to this Sony shot across the bow at Microsoft. Microsoft bought Bethesda and Blizzard Activision, who will literally print money. Print money. Sony just has to play ball and they'll get the games. So don't want to play ball? Sorry.
And historically, Sony doesn't want to play ball.
Sony ain't going to play ball till it's too late.
Here's the thing. Most games, and I think there's 1 or 2 out there, but most games you don't have Sony to Xbox cross-platform. There may be 1 out there.
Fall Guys. That's all the way I can think of.
And on the between PlayStation and Xbox, that's a fair fight. There are arguments to be made that Xbox to PC is not a fair fight.
It is not a fair fight. I'm sorry. Sea of Thieves was not okay. PC players were running circles around me. It was not fun.
But in games like Halo, the fairness is not so much in the ability, because they actually did a fairly well job of making the aim assist comparable to mouse and keyboard. But it's the fact that they can easily mod, hack, and cheat. And as a free-to-play, you could just create a new account.
Well, there's no doubt about that. But like with that Halo, because it's proprietary to Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with you. It's different.
I enjoy console gaming, and I enjoy paying for Xbox Live because I don't have to deal with rampant cheating.
Rampant cheating, and games are certain games are made for PC, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a PC gamer. I prefer console these, but there's nothing wrong with that, especially with rampant cheating. But also, people forget a lot of games that are made for console games don't transfer over well at all. They have all sorts of issues transferring to PC constantly. We just don't talk about it because it's not as prevalent.
Mm-hmm.
Also, PC Master Race, good for you. I love PC gaming, always will. First-person shooters, excellent for PC. Everything else, well, I'm a PC gamer. Why are you holding a controller then? Oh, it's easier. Okay.
See, for me, I love first person on a controller.
Oh, I love first person on. There's a certain I can do it. I grew up playing it on a computer. I haven't played in years, so it would take me a while. But I love first person shooter on a controller now too. I just more mean there was a certain amount of it that's where I like to play them. I've changed. I don't mind playing them on the console now. Most games are developed for console first, whether they like to admit it or not.
But for me, Roller Coaster Tycoon, that is a PC game.
It's developed for PC, but that's developed for PC. That's what I mean. Certain games are developed for PC, not console. That was developed for PC. If it's coming out on one first for the other, that's where it's developed for. End of discussion.
It comes down to purely how many buttons do you need. Like, yes, I see on Xbox Game Pass, I could play Flight Simulator, whatever, on my Xbox.
Not the same.
Why the hell would I want to do it? I know the people that are serious in the flight sim have 300 button controllers. How am I getting anywhere near that with my 12 button?
Yeah. It's just in general, it's like, I'll go back to Fall Guys here for a second. Fall Guys plays great on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. Fall Guys on Switch, it breaks my heart in half because it just doesn't play well. It just can't hold up.
It's like 3 buttons.
It's not believe it or not, it's not the buttons. It's the online componency and the control and the graphics. It just can't hold up the refresh frame rate when you have 60 people playing at once. Trust me on this. It's not playable. It just isn't. I break my heart. I thought I was so excited. I finally have people to play Fall Guys with. But I have it on consoles. It's free to play, and I'm good to go. But that's why but it was developed for the other areas first. It was not developed for that first.
The other big thing is the Switch. If first-party games did not exist, the Switch wouldn't exist.
No.
It'd be a non-competitor. Whereas I feel the PlayStation and Xbox, while we could argue who would be bigger and all without first party, there's room for them to exist.
That's why Nintendo makes it firsthand. But because let's face it, if the Switch failed, like some thought it might, if the Switch failed, Sony would be dead in the water because Microsoft would have been there to partner with Nintendo to play Mario.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that.
And I think the consoles just have the advantage with the standardized hardware.
Yeah.
It's stupid because it's not as good. Yeah, but I buy a game and I know I can play it.
It's developed and everything's done differently. It makes it easy. A lot of them use the Unreal Engine, the different engines. It just makes it sense. They can make updates through firmware and everything, no problem. They've really made it where, and I could buy a $600. I'm sorry, my $600 console will last me just as long, if not longer, than a $2,000 rig.
A $2,000 rig that you will probably update in the time that you've played that.
You're wrong. Remove the word probably with definitely, and then you'll be right. You will definitely update it. Definitely. And I'm a gentleman who has a gaming tower with 32 gigabytes of RAM. When I had a problem with Wolfenstein, I actually talked to Bethesda on the phone themselves. And is your RAM your problem? RAM's not a problem. Is RAM your problem? Telling you RAM's not a problem. How many gigabytes do you have? 32. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's excessive. That's what he told me. He goes, that's excessive. I'm like, I'm telling you, RAM ain't the problem. I got a beast here. So what's going on?
The real question then would be, well, what kind of RAM? And that's where you get to this level of minutia that people don't want to friggin' deal with.
The guy at Bethesda, then he goes, I'm going to help you. He goes, what the heck did you design? He goes, why so much? I said, I'm never going to have to update RAM ever. He goes, that's clear. Your graphics cards are going to. I'm like, yes, I will. You are correct, sir. And I have. Again, not probably upgrade. Definitely have to upgrade at some point.
So I just need to say, as we're talking about graphics cards, I have this, why can't I think of his name? Old cowboy, Sam. Actor,
old cowboy.
The Ranch, Ghost Rider 2.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm blanking on his name. I can see his face.
Yeah. Long story short, as you look it up, because I can see what you're doing.
You know what I'm doing, and
long story short, I have a neighbor that is like a damn near dead ringer for him. Just not his voice. And this old gentleman comes to a guy's night we're having at the house. We're all drinking, having a good time. And then there's this other guy, straight up D&D style nerd. Brought his hipster beers and all. And they're talking in the corner.
Oh my God, Sam Elliott. I'm like, I see.
There we go.
I see the face, Sam Elliott. It's gonna kill.
Yes.
I was like, it's gonna kill me.
Sam Elliott. You know, we have the Sam Elliott looking guy, this hipster young guy, and they're in the corner talking about what they're currently mining on.
I got nothing to add. I weep.
The one guy sitting there talking about his mostly adult grandchildren. And the other one sitting there going, I have a 1-year-old. And not even 1-year-old.
Oh
like,
my. Oh my.
I'm like, oh, damn. And the old guy's the one sitting there mining the obscure shit.
Yikes.
He made his money as a day trader, though. Like, he is, like, cutting edge fintech from day one. And you know me, I'm like, ooh, fintech.
Yeah, well. You're like, we have much to discuss, sir.
Which, I've worked in the finance industry my whole adult life.
Yes, you have.
Fintech is such a joke because if they could, they'd still be operating off floppies. I still fax places.
Hey. I have a fax machine.
Yeah, you work with the government, though.
And they've stopped taking faxes. One day out of the blue, the number stopped working.
So
I
it's hilarious.
worked the military though. That they do accept faxes.
Of course they do. They probably still accept Morse code.
I'm gonna ask.
I was sitting there 2 weeks ago. I was buying my Bronco, and the entire desk was a tablet. I sign all the paperwork on it. We go through this whole high tech process. My car syncs to my phone, which syncs to my Wi-Fi, and I could pull up my phone right now, start my car, see my mileage, and see how long I have left on my oil life.
Oh my.
And then the paperwork printed on a dot matrix printer.
What? Do they even? Is that even still a thing? My gosh!
It is still a thing, and
I didn't think
why
Dot
it's
Matrix
still.
was making things anymore.
Do you know why it's still a thing? Because I actually know this reason.
No, I don't.
What does dot matrix printers have that no other printer can do?
I don't know.
Duplicates.
Oh my gosh, I see what you mean.
It can print on carbon paper.
Oh my gosh. Oh my. Listen, we have a printer, a copier we use for prayer cards. One day this is gonna go. You'll know. You'll hear me from Virginia just going, why?
The best part, though, I e-signed all these documents on their entire tablet of a table. They dot matrix printed everything, and then I signed it all again in ink.
Oh
and I'm like,
God.
why the fuck did I do this?
Oh my gosh.
Why do I have to sign it all twice?
And if people actually watch this, we have people going, "What's a dot matrix?" And
It's
some
a
older
character
people
from Spaceballs.
actually, you're thinking of a character from Reboot, too.
I was thinking of Dot.
I don't think of Dot. I think you're thinking about. I'm saying also Reboot too. Reboot, come on.
I can't be positive I've seen it enough to know it. I know Reboot, like the world's first shitty
CGI
show where it's like 7 polygons per frame.
Bob and Dot Matrix.
It's been so long.
Bob, Dot Matrix, Hexagon. Oh my gosh, I remember more of the show than I realized.
Let me also point this out, though. That was a Cartoon Network show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, technically Toonami, I believe. But Cartoon Network, and I did not have Cartoon Network at my house. I only had it when I went to my grandmother's in Bethlehem, which was an hour away, and I only stayed there 1 week a year.
My gosh, it's Canadian. That makes sense. It was a
Canadian.
It was Canadian.
Where was the maple syrup?
It's Canadian. My gosh. Okay, Kathleen Barr was Dot Matrix. Country of origin, Canada. Distributor, Hit Entertainment. Production.
Maybe it wasn't on Toonami. Maybe it was just on regular Cartoon
It
Network.
was on there, but that's... My gosh. Hexadecimal. That's what I was thinking of. Megabyte, hexadecimal.
Toonami. The first time I ever screamed at an episode, nothing happened!
Oh my gosh. Here's distribution. Cartoon Network.
Kamea! And that's the end of the episode.
Oh my... Well, that's why we have a whole thing of gym bros who apparently love Dragon Ball Z, and I'm like, did you folks actually watch the show? I did, and I've watched Dragon Ball. Did y'all actually watch?
So I watch them in the American sense, where I watched Dragon Ball Z before I watched Dragon Ball.
Well, same here. That's how most of us
And
did
I
it.
sat there just kind of not comprehending that Dragon Ball's a prequel to Dragon Ball Z. Like, what the fuck happened? Why
I
is he
knew
a
it was-
kid?
I knew it was a prequel, but there's a whole generation now of people who like are all about Goku and Vegeta, and I'm like, none of you watched this fully, did you? Oh, of course I did. You haven't watched where half the episodes did nothing. Nothing. The Frieza saga was half the people screaming at each other for 5 episodes, 1 episode of action, 5 episodes of nothing.
I swear, I watched an entire episode of Kamehameha.
You did. You really did, because it did happen, and that's a known thing. Plus, I'm sorry, Dragon Ball actually had a tournament where somebody got beaten by math. So young Krillin is in the tournament, and the only way he can beat his opponent by random yelling math problems at them because their opponent couldn't do math. That was the thing. Yes, it was.
The funny thing is, do you know why there were those no episodes?
No,
That's a thing I know.
no, I don't. Go on.
The episodes of nothing happened because the show had surpassed the manga.
Oh my gosh, how far we've come that shows are now timing with certain show, a certain anime, my favorite, possibly of all time, My Hero Academia, is behind. The manga is almost ending, so the show will be ending soon. And the 6th season's coming, and oh boy, howdy, I know shit's about to go down. But yeah, that's amazing. I didn't know that. That's awesome. They needed episodes to catch up.
At least that's the reason I've seen on YouTube videos and Wikipedia of why there are these episodes of nothing.
But it makes sense. Wasn't Dragon Ball Z a Shonen Jump?
It very well may be. Look, anime and manga aren't my thing. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on it.
Yeah, I will, because some anime, yeah, it was Shonen Jump. People forget that was a weekly publication. You didn't have like, here's a bunch of books, go enjoy, read them. They made them into them, but this was a weekly comic that came out every week. Here's what happens. A lot of them did that. I think My Hero does it a lot. I know Assassination Classroom. A lot of the classic ones did it, but that's people. American audiences don't realize that, but it makes sense. Hey, we need 2 weeks because the manga isn't here yet.
Yeah. That also just kind of illustrates how fast the production time of these cartoons was.
Damn, that's impressive.
We need to build time. Kamehameha.
Meanwhile, King Kai.
Majin Buu. That's what I remember.
I loved the Majin Buu saga. The fact that he turned people into cookies.
You remember, I can only ever watch a show 1 week at a time, 1 to 2 weeks a year. So I've never watched a ton of it.
I watched the saga. It was after the Majin Buu saga that I lost interest. Because that went on for a long time.
And whatever I was watching at 3:00, I had to stop. Because Grandma Dozer had to watch General Hospital.
I can understand that.
I could do anything in the world.
But she got to watch
at her
General
house.
Hospital.
But at 3:00, General Hospital had to go on.
I understand that. My grandmother was a Murder, She Wrote fan. Among other things. But she liked Murder, She Wrote. So I watched a lot of Angela Lansbury when Grandma was over.
Okay.
Not
My
complaining.
grandmother once let me eat a dozen cupcakes in a day.
Nice.
As long as I didn't interrupt
General Hospital. But not to derail us from that, because I'm pretty sure we're going to come close here soon. Before we get there, 2 things, Disney news I thought to look through. Real quick, Canada Pavilion, the Circle Vision is closed. They're putting a marketplace in there during Food and Wine, not permanently. Like, don't get excited. Don't start cheering. But during Food and Wine, they're using that for a marketplace. It will reopen in November, they believe, after Food and Wine. But the other thing down at Disneyland, I know we're Disney World, but there's actual implications here, is that September 1st, the Forever Fantasy fireworks and the Main Street Electrical Parade will once again be retired. The
God
first
damn
question
it.
people have is Main Street Electrical going back into boxes where it belongs in storage?
No.
Or is it coming right back to Disney World? We'll see. Hopefully it stays away.
Ship it via FedEx so it gets lost.
Hopefully it stays away and we get a parade from, I don't know, Tokyo. But
here's the thing.
How come they couldn't upkeep Spectrum Magic somehow? Yet somehow, some way, this is protected.
How hard is it to make a new nighttime parade?
Very impossible. Disney's running out of money here. You don't understand. Chapek is just, going broke.
Send the Cirque actors out there dressed in glow sticks. I don't care.
Shh, they'll freaking do it. I hate Cirque.
I don't care. I want a nighttime parade.
So do I, but that's what I got. I just thought just looking that up, but there's the rest of our Disney news.
It's news from around the world. Disney World. And you know what? At that note, I'm going to call it. This has been the Diz Idiots. I'm Dozer. He's Bruce. We never played an intro, so we ain't playing an outro.
We're the idiots, so you don't have to be. And don't worry, party people. We got just over 2 months till I make my return. I got Horror Nights Trip Report and Rise of the Resistance and hopefully Cosmic Rewind Reports loaded for you. So stay tuned.
Lord.